Hello, give me a moment please, I will start the translation. Sorry. So, hello. I will talk about Greta a little bit and the climate change. And after I will transfer to the state of American economy for the people who are interested in this topic. So, there is this phrase that if we do not reverse climate change until the year 2000, many sea nations can be erased from the face of the planet. And American Republicans and climate change skeptics is giving this as proof that you promise us that in year 2000 many sea nations will be erased. And this tells me that either people are straight up idiots or they do not even can't read properly. Because there was phrase that first of all, if we do not reverse the climate change until the year 2000, which was impossible already. If we will not reverse, there is very important word, reverse. Climate is very inertia system. And this inertia, we now experience something that already was done, like I don't know how many years ago, 50 or 40 or even maybe 70 years ago. Those changes that we feel now, the climate is changing, a little bit changing. It's a proven fact. So that what we feel now already happens many decades ago. And if we will not reverse the climate change until the year 2000, it means that someday in the future, 50, 60, 70 years from now, maybe 100 years from now, I don't know, but climate scientists saying more likely to the year 2100, something around that date. Many sea level will raise and wipe out the nations. It's not that about I like the way Greta put this message. I hate it. I really think she is a fraud, as some climate alarmist. She is a fraud, mostly. Yes, she may be brainwashed, she may be indoctrinated, yet she is not, she may be even sincere, yet this is not about that climate will change and we need more taxes, etc., etc. It's not a fraud at all. Yet, how it was put to the public, it was awful. It was like unacceptable at all. But you given this phrase as proof that in 1989 they promised that in year 2000 many nations will be erased from the face of the planet, when that phrase, you ignoring the word reverse. If we not reverse, the climate change. Until the year 2000, many nations will be erased. That's not how it sounds. It sounds exactly like if we do not reverse the climate change until the year 2000, reverse in that period of 11 years, many nations could be erased someday in the future. It's not like they will be erased in year 2000 or 2012. We try, not we, of course. Government's trying to reverse the system, which is very inertia, very. Changes can happen in like many decades, and only in many decades we can feel the consequences of this. And when you like reading it, like in year 2000, nations will be erased. You act like stupid, and like you are manipulated already. You already manipulated. Don't let the people manipulate your thoughts, I guess. Don't let the people brainwash you. There is climate change. It's a scientific fact. That's it. 97% of scientists believe in it. Like, for example, even more than 3% of scientists believe in God. So 3%, it's like okay number of people who disagree. They are scientists, they always disagree with each other. That's not a problem at all. Like, it's not even about the climate change as a thing, because I pretty much do not care, just as Americans do not care about lives of other people in some oceanic islands somewhere in other region, etc., etc. Yes, I understand. Americans pretty much don't care. I don't care either. But the stupidity of situation that you simply ignoring the fact that statement state one thing and you read it as another thing. It shows your own stupidity. It shows the level of manipulation. How you want to create the propaganda and how you want to manipulate the numbers and outcome of a phrase. Even in a simple level. How, like, meaning of the phrase is changing if you simply ignoring the word reverse until. You ignoring the word until in reality. Reverse until. If you read it correctly, you understand that climate change need to be reversed by some point in the future. And then someday in the future, even further future, maybe we will not get such consequences. Or maybe we will. Who knows? I'm not a scientist, I'm not a climate scientist, so will not tell you this. But this shows the level of manipulation. What I'm against in here, it's against stupidity. People's stupidity, people's ignorance, and pretty much blindness, I guess. Or I don't know, illiteracy. I really can't read properly. I'm not American. I'm not English speaker. I'm not native speaker. And not native English speakers. And even I understand the meaning of the words. Is that so hard to understand for American population that what the phrase said? And after, I want to talk about Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. I have a little conversation about the person of Trump. The person called Trump a crook, not a crook, how he call him? Corrupt corrupt, yes, most corrupt and horrible person who was the president of the United States. Maybe, I agree pretty much that Donald Trump is nothing but a crook, but it's my personal opinion, and who cares about it, right? But there is much more important questions. You see, many people who support Trump right now, it's pretty much nationalists, and even more close to Nazists. It means that it's very strong people, I guess, or how to say it, that they tend to do something, you know, they tend to do some things that like start a fight, for example. And in such conditions, they are pretty sure that current state of things is very bad for general population of United States. And Trump, of course, he's a Republican after all. Even if he is not, yet he represents the Republican Party, and people who behind him is pretty much still Republicans. And Republicans always work for the benefit of the rich. So, in this case scenario, if you want to choose Bernie, you have to like think about the next thing. Bernie will choose the same path that the economy going for years already. To be exact, for 70 years. It's like was 1945 or 46 when this current model of economy was accepted, and it was slightly changed in 1971 or 72 when the dollar was unpacked from the gold. It was slightly changed. So in such conditions, you have to understand that Bernie will probably follow the same path that it was before him, and this will lead in some point of the history, and it will not be so far away. Maybe year, maybe two, economy can still go in like this. Yet in nearest future, economy will collapse, and there is no exit plan for the Bernie side of the spectrum, let's say. So there is a crack not only between two parties, but like, you know, if you choose left and right, if Republican is right and conservatives is left, therefore they're also crack from the south to the north, if you understand what I try to say. So there is not only a crack between two parties, but there's cracks inside the two parties. There is people who like support Trump ideology in Democratic Party, and there is people who support like previous economy in Republican Party. But Republican Party more tend to go a new path and find a new path. I didn't say that Trump and people who stand behind him, because he's pretty much an actor, a good actor. Let's face it, he acting good. It even seems that he knows what he's talking about. And mostly he is, because he is not an educated person. He is very well educated person. Even though he is egoist and narcissist, it doesn't make any worse in such case. I didn't say that Trump side already have an exit plan, but they very rapidly looking for it. And I know who can give them this exit plan. I know. And this plan is to save United States economy by expense of the whole world economy. If you're an American citizen, you should support Trump. It's not that I'm like Trump. I don't like Trump. I'm like, I think about him as a clown. Do you think I really like Trump or respect Trump? I don't. Yet, his side of the spectrum, if you're an American, I'm always defending the common sense, and therefore, even if it's worse for me, I will be defending the common sense. And common sense say that US economy can be saved only by the people who standing behind the Trump. There is two variations, or how to say it, two scenarios, I guess. In this case, can get worse, can worsen the situation. If economy will collapse before the exit plan will be found, the outcome is really unpredictable. But if Trump will be impeached or not re-elected, therefore the current state of economy will go on a little bit longer and will fall even harder in the end. And nothing will save that. And nothing will save it, sorry. But if the plan will be accepted, the plan that presented by the people to the people who stand behind the Trump, because I know the plan is already, the model is already created, it was tested, and it pretty much, as inventor of this model saying, it's already worked. So I can be sure about it, of course. It's not 100% correct information that I'm giving you. Yet, I want to stress out that you need to change the model of economy. The current state of economy, the current model of economy is already doomed, like 10 years already. It's doomed, simply doomed. It can go on forever like this. If Bernie will come and make populist decisions, he will not save economy in any shape or form, and United States will fall apart. And it can happen literally for the different states. It can happen, really can. It's huge probability. But the side of the Trump could raise the people who can blame Bernie for this matter, for the collapse of economy. And these people are highly extremistic, let's say. They are very extremist. They have tendency to this, to extremism, to aggression, to war, and in general in current society there is level of aggression is simply on the highest level until since I don't know, since maybe 1914. It's very high. The level of aggression in societies all around the world is very high. So in such conditions you have to understand that there is a problem, and this problem is very huge. And if Trump team, let's call them that, Trump team, and if Trump team will deal with this and transfer will be, let's say, will have the less impact on the common people, on general population of United States, that will be better for United States. Even though I'm personally for United States collapse. Let's face it, I'm not very much like United States yet. Trump team standing behind, like behind the Trump, there is a team who want to save United States economy, while the people who will stand behind Bernie Sanders anyway, it doesn't matter who will stand on that side. If it will be like left Republican, like someone like Bernie, or standing on the same grounds, at least, even if they will be capitalists. They will try to restore the current state of economy, and it will collapse even bigger, even how to say it, with even bigger consequences. It will collapse anyway. One way or another, it should collapse. Yet Trump start to print money back again, but no one want to buy American money because they clearly understand that United States simply can't pay back all the debts. Simply can't. And deflation for US dollar is like inevitable. Whether it will be huge deflation or small amount, I can't say. I'm not economist yet. When you trying to talk, when you trying to like oppose the person whoever it will be, Barack Obama, George Bush Jr., Senior, Richard Nixon, or Reagan, or Trump for that matter, or Biden, or Hillary Clinton, or who else there? The Bernie Sanders, of course. So if you stand against the person, you blindly follow the path that make you to wrong conclusions, because simple president simply can't. It's like representative person, nothing else. It's like he signed the papers, nothing else. That's pretty much all his job. Talk smooth and sign the papers. That's all president do. You have to look much more deeper. The people who stand behind the Trump, the people who really make decisions, like not Bolton, that guy from some site, I forget what the site was. You must look closer into situation, into the team, what they doing and why they doing it, the real causes, and like something along those lines. You have to understand after all. So I wanted to talk about Greta, but then come up this situation with this guy who talks that Trump is Trump corrupt. Like, yeah, he is. Every politic is corrupt. You can't escape it in capitalism. The higher level politics is corrupt on the scale that's simply unimaginable for you. Sorry, you can't be corrupt on lower level, yet they can be corrupt on the higher level, and every politic can corrupt in some way, or some shape or form. They not come to serve you, they come to make you slaves, because one way or another, either it will be corporations in charge, like corporations will be the tyrant, or the government will be the tyrant, like socialism. Like in socialism, for example, when government is a tyrant and government looking in interest of the general public, of course it's better when corporations thinking only about the power and the profits, personal gains. Of course it's better when government is like tyrant. The people rule, the mob rule, it's just simply impossible. It's just simply like a fairy tale that's created for American population. I'm already hear from people that I can't say that I will be like mocked that I'm talking to a Russian. Maybe I will be called Russian agent or Russian influencer or Russian bot. And you're really afraid of it. Like, come on. What freedom are you talking about? You must understand that there is only kind of couple of ways that you can go You can go Trump way and save United States economy. Yes, rich will be biggest benefiters from this situation. Of course they are. Why do you think they collect so many money in the previous 70 years? To get dry from the rain, pretty much. To get dry from the water, as we say in Russia. And therefore, you can of course go in the path of world financial elite and trying to save world economy. Yes, you can, but I see no other restart. I see no other way to restart the system once again, but a huge war. And the level of aggression in many countries of the world show me that it's pretty possible. If Trump will lose and the people who's in charge of, let's say, democratic part of American elite, they can start simply a war somewhere in Syria, or maybe even in Europe, like make white people fight against black and Arabs, Muslims, for example. And then at the same time, America will be again a benefiter from this. We can see the situation of 1941. We can pretty much see this situation. Probably Russia even won't be involved in these conditions. Yet Trump side want to escape war, because capitalism dependent on amount of consumers, and like capitalism taken hostage by his mentality of you need endless consumers, the growth, you need it. And therefore in such conditions, in such situation, it will, as much as I don't like Trump, it will benefit United States more if Trump team can find the exit from this situation. Only, but in the case of Bernie Sanders' side, the exit can be found in war, in huge military conflict. It can happen everywhere. It like not mandatory have to affect Europe, but it should pretty much. And it of course have to affect in some way, in some shape or form, United States. So the government could simply erase the national debts and household debts. So that's pretty much it that I wanted to talk about, and see ya.